Bob and Maureen. So thank you so much for having us aboard and talking with us today. We'd like to meet you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Well, we're from Colorado, southern Colorado. We lived there for 40 years. Raised 5 children in a very rural part of Colorado, the San Luis Valley. Started sailing probably in the year 2000. And didn't know anything about, very little about sailing. Bob had 1 or 2 lessons in his life.
Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you have to have a bathing suit, your passport, just a small stuffable bag, and 2 or 3 things, and the white envelope guy is going to meet you and take you on an adventure. So I had put this in a white envelope, had all this planned out, and I had put it under her pillow. So I kind of envisioned that she was going to get into bed the night before, and she was going to find the envelope, and she was going to have this surprise, and sort of fulfillment.
You had the whole picture.
And she had this fantasy. So I have my fantasy meeting her fantasy, and so I put it under the pillow, and I'm kind of waiting, and I'm
waiting for the scream.
Well, I nudge her a little bit, or I push her, and
I went to sleep.
She goes to sleep.
I didn't reach under my pillow.
There's nothing, and so we
You should have put it on top of the pillow.
whatever. But okay, so I'm all night I'm waiting for this thing to be discovered. It ends up on the floor. So she gets up in the morning like to.
God damn it! What is that on the floor?
So she picks it up, and it just says the big white envelope from this is from the white envelope guy, and she picks it up and opens it. It has this like scream of joy, and all of a sudden it was very clear. And we were going to go to the airport. It was the next day, I think, and we had to get everything ready in one day.
No, it was a couple of days because one of the guys in the class gave it away too.
So anyways.
So romantic.
I thought it was romantic. Anyways, we ended up going to the Canary Islands. So it's a very popular place to go from England to do sailing.
Yeah.
So we flew to the Canary Islands, and we were on a Bavaria 42 or something, and there was another couple of gals, and Maureen and I, and a sailing instructor. And we spent the whole week taking sailing lessons, and we learned how to dock the boat, how to do reefing, how to do navigating, how to
fantastic.
All kinds of little lessons. And I thought it helped get us the idea of feeling, what's it like to be on the ocean? Because there in the Canary Islands, you have to sail back and forth between the 2 islands. And so there's all kinds of little challenges. We spent a whole day, for example, just doing docking. And if you have a big boat, that is a major deal to learn how to turn the boat around, how to back it in, how to lift it out, how to do whatever you have to do. So we had stuff like that. It was very nice. Learn how to set the sails and so on and so forth. It was a great experience, and it was one of our little romantic fantasy things, the white envelope guy.
We learned on the lake.
Where's the lake? Where was the lake?
It's called Navajo Lake, and it was
New Mexico.
It was 5 miles was in Colorado and 20 miles was in New Mexico.
Okay.
So it was a shared lake. And it was at the time that we had our airplane, and there was a dirt airstrip on the Colorado side of the lake. And we thought, oh great, we can fly our airplane over there. Let's get a small sailboat and we'll fly over, get on the sailboat, which was, the strip was right next to the marina, and then we can fly home, and because it was like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from our house over there.
35 minutes by plane.
So we bought this small sailboat, a 23-foot sailboat that we found out there, and started to learn to sail. And after about 2 times of flying over there, all of a sudden they closed the airstrip, and because it was a dirt airstrip, and Colorado didn't want to pay to keep it open.
I see.
New Mexico didn't want to pay for it because it was on Colorado land. Anyway, the point was is that we ended up having to drive over all the time, so we couldn't go over as often, but probably every couple weeks. And then eventually,
were you just teaching yourselves? Just get out there and go and yell at each other?
We would just teach ourselves. And we belonged to a sailing club there, but we could never, because of our work schedules, we could never get over there on weekends all the time when the clubs met. So we would go over during the week, but we had pretty much the whole lake to ourselves at that time.
That's
and we
nice.
could,
You don't have to worry about hitting anybody.
no. And the thing is they always said, if you can learn to sail on a small lake where there's a lot of squalls going
Yes.
through, then the ocean should be fine. Anyway, we worked ourselves up to a 26-foot boat. When we sold our house,
Trailer sailor.
we bought a 26-foot Hunter, and that had a swing keel, and we started to trailer that boat to other places. And we trailered it up to the San Juan Islands, and we took 2 months and went around the San Juan Islands. And one day I walked into a shop up there and saw a pamphlet that says, why don't you bareboat and we'll send a captain and take you on 2 weeks and go up to Desolation Sound. And they showed the whole track. And we had about 3 weeks left of our vacation time. And so I looked at Bob and I said, let's just follow this track and take our boat up there. And
You just did it yourself. Yeah.
we knew nothing about tides, we knew nothing about currents
Open
or
ocean
anything.
sailing
Open
and-
ocean.
Such-
But we did it, and we had a wonderful time, and it just sparked us to do more
Yeah.
open water sailing. So then we trailered our boat out to
Southern California.
Southern California, went out to Catalina Island, and then down the coast to Oceanside. And then we decided to get a bigger boat, and we moved up to a 33-foot in the Sea Cortez. And
Well, we
That's how
had-
you got started with Mexico.
Well, we Sea Cortez always had appealed to us, and some years previously we had chartered a boat with some friends, and we had done a small charter out of La Paz. So we kind of fell in love with La Paz and the whole area and the islands and
Yes.
just the whole milieu.
Beautiful place.
You know, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful place. And then we went back in 2008 or 9, something like that, and we chartered a 40-foot boat because now we're thinking, oh, we should get a bigger boat and so on and so forth. And one thing led to another, and then we went up to Loreto and then up to Puerto Escondido and ultimately found a Hunter 33 that we ended up buying. And we kept
And you
got the-
cruised for a while
we
with that.
cruised
for
4
4 years.
seasons, and we moved the boat up to the
San
Guaymas,
Carlos.
Guaymas, San Carlos area,
Yes.
and we kept it there, dry docking and so on and so forth. Because you could get to San Carlos from Colorado, it's only a 17-hour drive. So it was very accessible
Yeah.
from our home, and so of course, you know, you always want to bring stuff to the boat. Anyways, we really learned how to do open ocean sailing by having the boat so close by. And we did, like I said, 4 seasons. And then it became obvious, well, we really want to retire and do serious sailing. You needed a more serious boat. And that put us on the look for other boats. And during that time of being in Sierra Cortez, we buddy boated with somebody who had an Island Packet 380, a 38-foot Island Packet. And I just remember being on their boat and just remarking at how, you know, this is a blue water boat, well constructed, beautiful on the inside. You've already seen our boat, and it had good features and so on and so forth. So I just almost immediately sort of fell in love with Island Packets.
You didn't have to do a lot of shopping around. It was like,
Didn't do a
oh,
lot of
like,
shopping.
this
I'd
is
already
it.
been on Benettos,
Yeah.
I'd been on Hunters, I'd been on other friends' boats, on Catalinas, and I'd sailed on other boats in different places, Bavaria. So I'd sailed on about a half a dozen other boats. I had a pretty good idea kind of what I wanted.
Yes.
And as soon as I saw the Island Packet, it was like, okay, this is a nice, safe, well-constructed sort of blue water cruising boat. So
Good
I kind of
choice.
confined my search to that, and sure enough, in 2013, coming back from some overseas work in Papua New Guinea, we stopped in Los Angeles and we found this boat was on sale, and we went down and to look at the boat. And I told Maureen, hey, look, we're just going to look. We're
Famous last words.
We're
yeah.
not going to buy this boat, you know, because I don't think we could afford it. So we're just going to look. And of course, we get down and we see the boat. You've already seen part of the boat, and you know, basically said, you know, this is the boat we are really looking for. It's the size. We could afford it more or less if we sold our airplane, and it would be
Choices.
choices. Well, by that time we were
Absolutely.
evolving out of flying a lot, and this would be a boat we could retire on, live on, and sail around North America, which was our retirement goal.
sail.